Let us now go through the story Ishwaran the Storyteller in detail. One day, Mahendra narrated a story about his cook Ishwaran to Ganesh. Mahendra worked as a junior supervisor in a company which provided junior supervisors to various construction companies on rent. He got posted at different sites like factories, bridges, and dams which were under construction. Mahendra's work was to keep an eye on all the workers at the site. He had to change places often and worked at various places like coal mine, railway bridge construction site, and the construction site of a chemical plant. As Mahendra was unmarried, he did not have a family. He was able to live in these temporary quarters provided at the construction sites. He adjusted well in the circuit houses which did not provide the basic amenities or even the tents which were temporary in nature. Mahendra had an advantage. He was accompanied by his cook Ishwaran. Ishwaran was very close to Mahendra and accompanied him everywhere. He did not complain about the tough conditions in which he had to live. He cooked food for him, washed his clothes, and gave him company by talking to him at night. Ishwaran had a quality that he was good at telling stories, and he entertained Mahendra with his stories which were based on different subjects. Mahendra tells Ganesh that Ishwaran was a great cook. Whenever they shifted to a new location, he would gather all the vegetables and other ingredients required by him to cook in no time. As they lived at places which was not inhabited by many people, in temporary shelters with roofs made of metallic sheets, it seemed as if he would do some magic and gather all the ingredients out of nowhere. Mahendra would wake up early in the morning, get ready and leave for work after eating his breakfast. He would carry his lunch along with him. After he left, Ishwaran would clean their living place, wash Mahendra's clothes, and have a nice bath. He would take many buckets of water and pour water on his head while mumbling a prayer. After that, he would eat his lunch and read his favorite book in Tamil language. Ishwaran would get carried away with the details and descriptions given in the book that he read. Then he would go off to sleep. As Ishwaran read stories with detailed descriptions, he narrated them in the same way. Mahendra recollects that he would narrate even a small incident with a lot of suspense and surprise, which made it very interesting for the listener. Then Mahendra gives an example that instead of saying that he was walking down the highway and he came across a tree which had broken and had fallen on the road, Ishwaran would use his facial expressions and bodily gestures to narrate it. He would say that the road was empty and he was all alone. This would create suspense in the listener's mind. Then he would say that all of a sudden he saw that a huge beast was lying across the road. As he walked ahead, his mind was telling him to turn and go back. As he reached closer, he saw that it was a tree that had fallen and was lying on the road. The branches of the tree had spread out and seemed as if it was a huge beast. Mahendra says that this talent of Ishwaran made the very simple story very interesting and it captivated him. Although he knew that some of the stories were not true, but the way in which Ishwaran narrated them was so interesting that Mahendra would not say anything and listened to him quietly. Mahendra recollects another story told by Ishwaran. Ishwaran said that his native village was surrounded by a huge forest which was full of trees. The huge logs of timber were sold for commercial purposes. They were transported on the vehicles by elephants. They were huge elephants, and if they became mad, they would get out of control and the Mahout would not be able to tame them. This introductory session was followed by a detailed story. The story was narrated as follows. One day, an elephant escaped from the timber yard and roamed around the forest. It stepped on the bushes and crushed them. tore the creeper plants and broke branches of trees which came in its way. Ishwaran asked Mahendra whether he knew how a mad elephant behaved. In order to make his story more effective, Ishwaran stood up and jumped around the place, hitting his foot on the ground in order to copy the actions of the mad elephant. As the elephant reached the outer boundary of their town, it broke the fences. The fences seemed as if they were like matchsticks for the huge elephant. The elephant reached the main road and broke all the stalls selling different things like fruits, mud pots, and clothes. The people were taken unaware, and so they ran here and there. Then it broke the wall of a school and entered the ground where the students were playing. All the students ran back into their classrooms and closed the doors. The elephant made loud noises and roamed around in the school ground. It broke the goalpost in the football ground, tore the net that had been put up in the volleyball court, stepped on the water drum and broke it, and destroyed many plants as well. The teacher had climbed onto the roof of the school building and watched helplessly as the elephant destroyed the school property. There were not even a single person to be seen around. All the streets of the town were empty, as all the people were scared of the mad elephant. At the time of the incident, Ishwaran was studying in one of the junior classes in the school. He was watching the elephant from the rooftop. Suddenly, he took the stick from one of the teachers and ran towards the school ground. The elephant made a loud noise when he saw a small boy approaching it. It lifted a branch of a tree in its trunk, hit its foot on the ground, which threw a lot of mud and dust in the air. The elephant was threatening Ishwaran, but the boy was not afraid of it. With the stick in his hand, he moved towards the elephant slowly. Many people had climbed on the rooftops of their houses and were watching the incident. They were standing still and were awestruck, waiting to see what happened next. Ishwaran saw that the elephant had red-colored eyes, which were full of anger. It again lifted its trunk and made a loud trumpet sound as it was about to attack Ishwaran. Just then, Ishwaran gathered all his force and hit the elephant's third toenail, quickly. The elephant was stunned at what had happened, and then it reacted by shivering all over, fainted and fell on the ground, unconscious. Every time after reaching the climax, Ishwaran would leave the story incomplete. In a low voice, he would make some of the other excuse and leave Mahendra to thinking. That day also, he left Mahendra thinking and said that he would return after lighting the gas stove to warm the dinner as they were getting late for the meal. Mahendra was curious to know what happened next and was feeling disappointed that Ishwaran had left the story unfinished. On returning, Ishwaran did not continue with the story as he wanted to arouse the curiosity in Mahendra. Mahendra was eager to know the ending. He asked Ishwaran to conclude the story. Ishwaran said casually that a veterinary doctor was called to bring the elephant back to consciousness, and after 2 days, the Mahout took the elephant back to the jungle. Mahendra was curious to know that how did the young Ishwaran manage to overpower the huge elephant. Ishwaran said that he performed a Japanese martial art. He said it was either karate or jiu-jitsu. He had read about it somewhere that the martial art rendered a person unconscious by disrupting his nervous system. Every day, Ishwaran would narrate one or the other story full of adventure, horror and thrill. Sometimes Mahendra felt that the story was a fiction, but still he enjoyed listening to it because of the unique way in which it was narrated by Ishwaran. As there was no television set at the place where they lived, these stories were a source of entertainment for Mahendra. Ishwaran would tell him a new story every day. In the next class, we'll read about another story Ishwaran narrated to him and how that story shook his irrational mind. Students, that was all for today. Kindly read the chapter and underline the difficult words and write their meanings in the book. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.